Hi there. So this is a quick video how to do automatic translations using Google Sheet with your chatbots. So I have created a new Google Sheet here, which we need to import as a bot sheet. So let's go to utilities and then go to bot sheets. And then after that, we are going to import these bot sheets, add editor access to the system email so that the system can, okay, let's name this bot sheet as translations. Then let's share it to the system email and then give editor access. After giving editor access, let's copy the URL and paste it on our bot sheet. And finally, we have imported the bot sheets. Now let's create a chatbot. Then here on the bot sheets, we need to add um, the headings or the key. Let's say that this is the language. Okay. And after that, this is wait a second. Okay, so this will become my message number one, and this is my message two. Okay, and then let me do a quick translations here. Okay, so let me grab the formula to do translations. But before that, let me insert a column here, and this will become my base text. So, and then let's say that this is hello, I am message number one. Okay. And after that, we are going to do translations here. So this is the formula to automatically translate example. Okay, so this should be here, A or B2. Okay, that's the formula. Okay. And after that, it should translate the language B2. Okay. Should do automatic translations now. Wait a minute. Okay, so I finally got it together. So let's say that this is the English language, and this is the message one, and this is the message number two. So the base text for message number two would be this one. I'm gonna insert something to the left. Base text for message one, and then base text for message two. Then here I have the formula to automatically translate one language to another using Google Translate. So here, instead of B2, let's say D2. And this is, and now I am message number two. Okay. So um, this column, message number two, automatically translates the language. So as you can see, there's nothing new here because we are just using English to English. But let's say I'm gonna use simplified Chinese. So on this second row, this is simplified Chinese. The base text should be the same, but the translated message, okay, so let's rename this as translated message. So this is the translated message. Okay, and then the formula would be this one. Okay, so let me delete this one. The formula would be this language from English to simplified Chinese. So instead of EN, let's use ZHCN. And this one too, let's copy this value. And instead of EN, we are going to use that one. Okay. And let's add one more language. Let's say French. Then let's copy over all of the columns here. And let's change the language for the automatic translation here. Okay, this one also, let's change the language. Okay, so this should be French. FR. So I think I did not get this correctly here. So this is French. I know this is simplified Chinese here, and this should be French. Okay, great. So this is our simplified Chinese column, and this is our French column. So you can add more values here, and yeah, let's just use three languages for now: English, simplified Chinese, and then French. Okay, now let's go to our chatbot. We are going to build the automatic translations here. So auto translate chatbot, and then we're going to do next is we're going to use bot sheets API. Um, First, let's ask the user to choose the language. Okay, choose language, and then we would have them choose between what are the languages here? English. Then let's add another one, and this one is simplified Chinese. And lastly, let them choose this one, French. Okay, so after choosing, we need to store the value that the user has chosen. So let's just say trans, and then language. Okay, so this is our marker for the custom variable so that it's easier for us to identify the custom variables that we are using for our flow. So translations and then language. Okay, so that's the first custom variable. And then we would have another one, translations for the message one. Okay, and then translations for the message two. Okay, so we have three custom variables now. So we are going to save this value to a custom variable. So let's use actions. I'm going to use actions here, connect it there. So once they choose the language, we are going to modify the this one, modify the translation language, and then we are going. The option would be set from the quick reply. Okay. So now once the user chooses the language, the value will be automatically saved on the custom variable modify trans language. I mean translations the language. The next is we are going to call that data on our bot sheet. So configure the bot sheets. Let's add the bot sheet API here and then choose translations. The sheet name would be this one, sheet one. That is the sheet name. And then operation would be to find. We are going to find. So what we are going to search for is the language that the user has chosen. So we have already prepared a custom variable for that. So the custom variable would be trans language, this one. So this will become our custom variable, and we are going to search this language on column A. Okay, language and column A. So search that on column A, and then the range. So the range where the value are going to be searched. So we are not going to include the first row. So let's just use this. Okay, this will become our range. We are not including the I mean let's include the range for the whole table. I believe we need to include the value or the headers as well, so we need to choose that, add that on the range, and after that we are going to test the request. Okay, so for testing the request, we are going to search for a subscriber. So the subscriber meaning the Facebook profile that we are going to use when testing our flow. So this will become my subscriber, and Currently, if you hit continue, there would be no result because the trans language, this custom variable, does not have any value yet, so there's no data found. So what we can do is we need to confirm the changes here first, save the flow, and then use that profile to add value to that custom variable. So this is my profile that I'm gonna use. So the profile is already logged in here. So let me add a trigger. The trigger would be translations. Translations. So that's the trigger, translations. And after that, let's let's trigger that keyword here. So remember the Facebook user that I am using now, or that I have logged in on Messenger, is the same Facebook user that I chose during the test request, so that when I click English, then the custom variable would be stored. Okay, this value would be stored to the custom variable from my user. So now, since that value is already stored, we are now going to send a test request, and we should see that it is now populated. There is now value here. So the index for the index for the English language is 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to save the messages. So what we are interested here is the translated message number 1, and then we are going to save that on message number 1, or the custom variable trans message 1. The next is we are interested in message number 2, and save that on trans message to custom variable. Okay, remember to always click the plus sign here. So once the custom variables has been assigned, we can then input the value here. So the value would be the message 1, and then the next would be the message number 2 value. Okay, great. Okay, so that's it. That's a very simple chatbot that automatically translate using Google Sheet. Let's test it out. So let's trigger it using translations. Okay, now instead of English, I am gonna choose simplified Chinese. Okay, so as you can see, the Chinese language was um, outputted, or the one that was given to us by the bot, because that's what we chose. And then translations again. And then let's choose French. After that, it should give us French message. Okay, very good. And then translations again. Okay, and then English, it should give us the English language. The advantage of using this method is because you can update the translations anytime. Example, this one, we have an error here because this is message 123. It should be message 111. So we can correct in real time all of the data that we have on the Google Sheet. So that's the main advantage of this one. So this should be message 2. Okay. So if we trigger it again using translation, we should be able to see the correct translations now. Okay, now go to French. We should see number 1 and 2 here. Okay. Okay. Now it's correct instead of 3 and 4 that was previously. So as you can see, this is like real time changes, which automatically so if we click simplify Chinese, it should output the changes that we made in real time. Okay, very good. 1 and 2. So yeah, you can add more languages here and more translations. So the only disadvantage here is that there is a limit how many times the API can call on Google. I think it's a few hundred every 5 minutes, I guess. I'm not really sure, but there is a limit. So there is a pro, which is you can change anytime you want. It's easy to set up, and the disadvantage is there you cannot use this for large volumes of messages. So if you want to use large volumes of messages, then you need to use a real-time database, or a real database like MySQL or Postgres SQL. But if your traffic is not that much, you can just use Google Sheets. So that's it.